And this morning I got the notification. Chris, thank you very much. The package is supposed to be delivered by 5 o'clock today. Now today promises to be more unpredictable than it normally is this time of year. This time of year we know we're going to get hot days, we're going to get rainy days it's going to thunder shower. But this morning Karen looked at her weather forecast, I looked at mine, and they were pretty much different. We're not supposed to get any rain until this afternoon. I don't trust them. I guess I've just been around the block enough times to know. When they say there's a chance of rain, it means it probably will rain. When they say there's no chance of rain, yeah, still a chance it's going to rain. And it isn't a big deal to get caught in the rain when it's 90 degrees, but you have that hour just cleaning bikes at the end and everything's messy and so for me, I like to keep these babies as clean as possible. So the plan was, or is, we're going to wait and see how this day plays out because it's a little cooler than it's normally been. And we've been getting out on the road real early, but I'm going to give this a couple hours before I decide how this day is going to play out. Now, I always do appreciate that every day of my life is not just like the day before, like Groundhog Day, but sometimes it just gets a little too unpredictable. And then there's the days when they say, not a chance, and this has happened so many times, it's not going to rain till 12 o'clock. You go out on the road, you're not 5 miles from home and it starts raining. And then, you have a ride. Yeah, we've had a couple of them this summer. But then that thing of cleaning the bike and drying it off and blowing it with compressed air and just takes a lot of the fun away. So as I say this, it has just started to rain. It was cloudy, and of course we're playing it by ear, but we have other things to do if it rains all day, that's for sure. And days like this, there's been days 10 minutes from now the sun will come out and it's perfect. We never know. But one thing's for sure, the garden loves the rain, the fish love the rain. I guess the electric bill loves the rain, that it's a little bit cooler too. Anyway, let's feed the fish and sit around and try to figure out if we're going to get a ride today. Now we have the cutest little baby rabbit in our yard virtually every day now. I'm sure he's living somewhere in this garden, but we never seem to get him on video. And the flowers love this rain. They just can't get enough of this rain. It's hard to tell from the look of those clouds. I'm usually pretty good at predicting this kind of stuff, but it's a funky day, that's for sure. No, we're just waiting here. Nothing like an extra cup of coffee to help you make these corporate decisions. So one of the things, if I get a break in the rain, one of the things I could do today, I wanted to get a little test ride on this since the work we did with the timing and Luciano, and I'm still trying to get rid of that final little bit of the mist that this thing has. And there's some other work I want to do on it, but the weather's been so hot I haven't been enthusiastic about being out in the garage in the afternoon. And boy, no video would be complete without saying how satisfying this restoration has turned out to be. That is just a 100% keeper. The daily harvest has begun. Oh, we got fresh stuff every day now. So nice to have a garden. And now that we don't have the varmint here eating our lettuce every day, this lettuce just grows about 4 inches. And that's the little electronic thing, the Clean Earth. Clean Earth. That thing worked great, and they have the supplemental one that they send you for free. If the first one doesn't work, you just call them and they send you the second one. And we have not had a rodent in the yard since then. So the wife is very happy. She's got a nice harvest this morning. We'll eat for one more day. Now the rain has let up, and I'm trying to catch. We have a pair of nesting cardinals that are nesting right in our wisteria. And they've been going, I hear them, but I can't see them yet. But they're out here every morning. And there he is, protecting his nest. Now, cardinals mate for life. At least that's what the documentaries that I've watched say. And there are some very cute cardinal documentaries of people that watch them make nests on YouTube. This guy here, every morning now. They lay eggs, and they sit on the eggs for 2 weeks, and then we're going to have babies for 2 weeks. I hope we get to see fledgies. And I've been watching the weather change all day, and it's more thunder showers coming this way, so we're just going to abandon the idea of getting a ride today. But what is supposed to happen, and I may as well make this as simple as possible. One of the upgrades I wanted to make to the RD, I was thinking I'll do this over the winter, but because we've had these gaps in our the weather being so hot and rainy days and everything, I wanted to get a brand new set of carburetors from Zudco, and I ordered them yesterday. So they're in the pipeline, and I guess a week or so from now we'll have them. But I have found, when I did the restoration for Ray of the black RD, the 350, it used to be my bike, what I found out is, boy, having a brand new set of fresh carburetors on the bike, you know, carburetors wear very, very slowly, the needles wear, and everything gets a little loose and sloppy, and then you put a new set on, it's like a fresh, as Luciano says, a fresh set of underwear. And this morning I got the notification. Chris, thank you very much. The package is supposed to be delivered by 5 o'clock today. But of course, they said that 2 weeks ago. She got me an R6 muffler. And thank you, Chris, by the way. And what we're going to try to do is make another exhaust system for the FZR, a relatively stock exhaust system, nice and quiet for obvious reasons. We want to have those evil twin things where we have a stock exhaust and a high performance exhaust, and we can switch them every time we get in the mood to do an evil twin project. It should be very easy. And just like the RD, when you have several different exhausts, you change the whole look and feel of a motorcycle in one afternoon. Now everybody knows that I like to do these experiments. Now when I bought this bike, and thank you Luciano for all your help in the beginning. Luciano actually bought a set of carburetors for the bike. We have 3 sets of carburetors. But this model and year, this series of FZRs has a unique problem. That around 3,000 RPM, 3,500, it has a flat spot. And everybody that I've seen that had one and that I've gotten to ride other ones and stuff, it's basically the same. And it's an annoying thing. It doesn't stop you from riding a bike. I don't think it even affects the overall horsepower if you were just doing track days. But it is kind of a thing. You always want to make it better. Now, a couple of things that I did made it better. When I got this, it had I think a Yoshimura exhaust, a straight through, no restriction at all, super loud. Well, when I put the Norton muffler on, it got a lot better. This is a more restrictive muffler. The outlet is a lot smaller than the Yoshimura one. The Yoshimura one just goes right through. So for my purposes, this one was a little better. And to be honest, I like the sound a little bit better. And it's not only the loud and the soft of it, it just had a different kind of a rumble, a different kind of thing at high RPM. And it was exactly the same for the 750. That I just liked the way it sounded. This one had a straight through. When we were track day in the 750, it had a real nice sound on a track, but it was too loud for riding on the street for my purposes. So again, I got 2 of these Norton mufflers. They were great. But one of the things that's happened to me, and I wanted to share this, I'm sure this is worth sharing too, is I have stopped riding. Basically, I used to ride maybe 50% of the riding I did in Harriman Park. And that's gone since the hikers have taken over. Of course, of the coronavirus and potholes and everything, I've kind of abandoned going there. But I found another really nice area, and I've documented it on some of the videos. And for me, it's actually a little bit further away, but certainly real nice. But one of the things, there are a lot of houses up there. So I try to, when I'm up there, now what happens is when I'm riding a bike that's really quiet, like the 650 is really nice and quiet. In fact, sometime on the video, you almost don't think, you think it's an electric bike. Well, that's real nice because I can go up there on Sunday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning and go flying through the beautiful twisties and nobody even knows I'm there. Well, you can't do that with a loud bike. They know you're there. And of course, so does law enforcement. So, so one of the things I wanted to try was, and I thought about this for a while. Now what I did, I wanted to share this. I did the evil twin thing on the R1, put the stock mufflers back on, and I found that, yeah, they're a little bit quieter. Yeah, it changes the throttle response. It mutes it a little bit. But for the riding I was doing this summer, it seemed to work a lot better. Now, the FZR, the last time I had it out, it is just annoyingly loud when I'm up in those places where there are houses. Harriman Park, you get away with it. not in these populated sections. Every time you see somebody walking a dog, they run off on the sidewalk. So I thought there's always people selling the stock mufflers, and Chris found one not too far away from an R6. I'll probably have to make some brackets and some mid pipes and stuff, but Luciano gave me a mid pipe, and so that is due in the house today before 5 o'clock. And because it's not a riding day, I'm probably going to try to plan or lay out or look at or do some polishing or whatever. But this is my next Evil Twin project. I call it the Rainy Day Evil Twin project. Now, I'm sure there are people who think it's totally crazy to have an extra exhaust system for every bike, which I don't have an exhaust or a muffler for the 650 yet. But that's one of the things I may get, one of those aftermarket mufflers, or make one. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. Actually, it's one of the things for the future. I want to be able to change it. And ultimately, at the end of this, I'd like to have for each motorcycle a relatively loud exhaust, a relatively quiet one, and then I can play Evil Twin, which is basically what I like to do, is make one bike into more than one. And so far I have not been able to catch the cart. I've not been able to actually see the nest where they are. They really buried it in the wisteria, but people that know my modeling career know that basically the most popular plane I ever designed was called a Cardinal. And so that was one of my, I don't know, my little pet things that I used to like was watching Cardinals, especially when Chicky was alive. But right now, having these bikes and being able to Evil Twin them, now this here's the perfect example. Last year this was a very bland, mundane, middle of the road bike, and to me right now it's a whole different bike. It's a true Evil Twin. So a couple of things on this rainy day that I've been trying to get organized so that when I actually do get that package, and I'm not sure it's going to come today, I don't have any high hopes. I know how delayed everything is because of COVID, of course. And thank you again, Chris, for all of that. And thank you to Luciano. He donated this mid pipe, because what I'm going to need to do, and I'll try to make this, you know, on the video, of course. We have a real heavy-duty clamp that's going to be valuable to have. I hope I'm not going to have to spend too much time doing this, but where the header ends and where the muffler begins, I may have to shorten this, lengthen it, add a piece. I don't know, but I like to, here's the point I'm trying to make. I like to get all the parts, when I have an Evil Twin project, before I start it or before I lay it out, I like to get all the things in-house. Now, from my days of doing construction work on the rental properties, I know half of every job is getting the sheetrock to the job site. Then the half is putting it up and spackling it. But getting it there, getting the muffler in-house, getting this in-house, getting any of the bolts, I'm going to have to make some brackets, who the hell knows. And then I'm going to have, if it works, if it looks like this is going to be an appropriate exhaust I want to keep, then I'll spend some real time polishing this up and try to clean it up. But there's really not much point in cleaning it all up and polishing it until I know if it's going to work. Another small little rainy day project. This came a while ago. I haven't had a chance to even open up. These are the remote mics for the SJ6 cameras. Now, the reason is I have an SJ6 camera, and one of the things that the SJ6 camera has, some do, some don't, and I don't know the modern ones, the old ones. I have one of the old ones. But they have these remote mics, which is really, really handy. Now, what I found out with I've tried to shoot other video with a GoPro, I call it a GoPro, it's a SJ6. What I've tried to do is shoot video in the shop. It never picks up the sound right. It makes it louder and softer, and it's a real problem. But it's the same problem we have shooting video on a motorcycle. It picks up the exhaust sound. Now, I, for one, am very fussy about what a motorcycle sounds like. Some people just want to make it louder. I want to make it sound like a Harley. I want to make it sound like a two-stroke or whatever. I just want to pick up the sound that actually is there. So this is one of the things I found makes a little difference. Yeah, not really that much difference. Is the little wind. Now, you would think it would make a major difference, but it really makes a very, very small difference. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend some of the time this afternoon, get this fit into my jacket, into the new Joe Rocket jacket, because then I'll be able, and I have the old one already, but this is the newer one, and supposedly an upgrade. more expensive, probably the same microphone, and they probably put it in a different bag, but we're going to find out. And this may help with the wind noise. Now, the wind noise gets worse exponentially as you go faster. So anything you shoot in video over 100 miles an hour, you basically don't even hear the exhaust. You just hear wind noise, like being in a giant vacuum cleaner. This should help. I've had them in the past. They help. But there's no, and you know how you know there's no cure. Because even professional video that you see shot on the news reporters that have these big furry things on the cameras, and you hear the wind noise. There's really no cure for wind noise that I've ever seen at any price. You can make it a little bit better, but there is no total cure. So on a rainy day, we'll try to get this fit into the Joe Rocket jacket, because we'll be using that for the next 2 or 3 months. Then we go back to the leather equipment. Okay, so a couple of things I've learned the hard way, and of course that's the whole reason for making these videos, is sharing good information. Something that may work for you, may work for me if we share it, and at least I know it doesn't work, or it did work, or whatever. This is one of those tips you learn the hard way. When you buy one of these microphones, if you're going to use this little gizmo to try to minimize the wind noise, you have to glue it on. Now, if you glue it with CA, some of the CA may, because it's capillary, it may tend to run down in and ruin the microphone. So what I've done is patiently get a little bit of epoxy, and you don't need that much. It's a minimum thing. And I always have the microphone going out the back of the jacket, not the front. If you have the microphone, or if you don't have a remote mic and you're shooting video, the wind noise is way, way, way worse. I can't even tell you how much worse, because I have measured it, and I've done it on my big screen TV with the stereo, with the sound bar, and there's no substitute. Now, I'm going to hope that this is going to make it better. We're going to find out. If not, there's always cures for everything. But here's the thing, and of course, Brodak's 5-minute CA, Brodak 5-minute epoxy, not CA. Good stuff. Okay, so I wanted to show this, the whole thing. Camera mounts up here. I always have a little strap, a Velcro strap holds it on. And what I've done in the past is shot video half of the day without the remote mic, half the day with, especially the R1. The R1 comes across, I think, outstanding. The sound, when you back off the gas especially, the sound is outstanding with the remote mic. Without the remote mic, you never know. The RD, when you're on the gas with the RD, with the remote mic, it sounds just like you're there. Now, some of the bikes, not so much. The 650, because it's quiet, it's muted. So the new muffler thing that we're going to make for the FZR, hopefully we're going to be able to capture a little bit of the rumble, but not make it so loud that we can't ride in populated areas without getting caught. We're trying to be a stealth bomber here. But anyway, the wire then, of course, would go. I have this little thing, and this is a critical thing. It's a little pad, because if you don't have this little piece, what happens, the camera's always doing this side to side. So this has to butt up against your chest to stabilize the camera. Another important thing I've learned the hard way. The wire goes behind the mesh, comes out the bottom of the jacket, and I don't make it a permanent thing. I don't want any of this permanent. I want everything on with Gorilla Tape so that when I'm riding, I can move so it's facing back at the muffler. Now, it sounds like all of that would be mumbo jumbo until you get fussy about shooting video. Now, if you're not fussy, I won't mention any names, but some people that I've made them camera mounts, they go out and they're perfectly happy. Well, that's perfect. They post it up on YouTube, and they're happy, I'm happy. But then you got people that are very, very fussy about it. They want it to be crisp. You want to hear what the exhaust sounds like. I want to see, for instance, if you shoot with these little cameras, if you shoot and the sun is in front of you, you may as well throw the footage away. The sun can only be like in the back of you. There's certain do's and certain don'ts, and that when you're new to this, it's very disappointing. But if you stay with it and tough it out, I think in the very end, some of the footage I've had in the last year or so, I felt like I was riding a motorcycle, and that's the whole purpose of it. So unfortunately the day ended and our muffler did not come, but I do understand with all the healthcare issues going on and everything's delayed. Even more reason to thank all the healthcare workers that have made my family safe, maybe they've made your family safe too. Let's hope. Anyway, and thanks to everybody that's contributed into my evil twin projects. And these are things that keep me busy, hopefully keep me from turning into a total jellyfish in my senior years here. I try to stay busy with motorcycle work or riding every day. I'm kind of religious about it, but every once in a while, we do get a rainy day that I have to bite the bullet. But I did hopefully share some good information about the cameras and about the remote mics. And that cardinal has got a nest out there. They're going in, and I'm going to try to get some. I hope we're going to get to see these baby cardinals. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I enjoy making them, and thanks for watching. It must be time for Monopoly. Are you ready for Monopoly?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I'll take it. Looks like the same game we just had. I'm getting the same properties.
How about if you pay for it?